Texas quarterback Arch Manning, in a desperate attempt to try and not make news yesterday, somehow managed to make news, Cody, because it was Arch Manning, it was Michael Taft, it was Ant Hill that met with the media after we're hearing was a spirited full pads practice today or yesterday for the Texas Longhorns on Tuesday. And Arch Manning was asked about the comments from his grandfather, Archie Manning, about how he's definitely coming back to school for another season after this season, yada, yada, yada. And so Arch Manning does what any certified dyed in the wool Manning would do. And he says that he's just focused on this season and he doesn't know where he got that. And I'm just looking at Ohio State, and because that's what good leaders and good quarterbacks and people that aren't trying to do anything that's too sensationalized in the media, that's the default answer. He gives that answer. And now we're getting alerts on our phones from The Athletic at 11 o'clock last night saying Arch Manning might be leaving after this season.
This is media, man. This is 2025 media. You don't try and get out there and say anything, and all of a sudden saying nothing is saying everything, especially when your name is Arch Manning. The Athletic, Yahoo, USA Today, everybody is Arch Manning refutes grandfather's comments. It's like, well, here's the deal. If you listen to the video yesterday, I thought it was very interesting. This is like my first thoughts. When I heard him say it the way he said it, he said, yeah, I don't know where he got that from. It's like, if you've never listened to Arch talk, like he did the podcast a couple of days ago with Wheelin' and Dealin'. He's done some like appearances where he's talked, and very jokingly, like he does.
He has got a dry kind of sarcastic humor to him.
A lot of jokes, a lot of like tongue in cheek stuff. And when he goes, yeah, I don't know where he got that from, I was like, oh, he's totally just. This is easy right here. He's just totally tongue in cheek right here. Says that Archie texted him back and he apologized. I'm just taking it day by day. Like, do you really think Archie was like, oh, Arch, I'm sorry. I'm like, come on, man. I just think this is a little far-fetched, this whole situation, but I do think it's an interesting conversation that I've thought about, because like we've done the Prize Pick show and we're approaching the season. We're only 10 days out, and it's like, the numbers are like 3,000 passing yards for Arch Manning. And some people are hesitant to say like what the expectations are. Some people are on he has to be a Heisman finalist. This team has to win the national championship to fulfill the expectation of Arch Manning. And then you have the guys like, Josh Pate, who we listen to, and he's like, yeah, I think he can be good to very good. Next year's the year, though, that he should be great and elite. Like, that's when the expectation should be set in. Can he be a Heisman finalist? Yes. But the way everyone's leading it up right now is potentially like he's got a high bar to meet. My question, Alex, and my thought is, everybody like is scared to bring up like the Mac Jones stats from 2020 because he had Devonta Smith and John Mechie and
not just Devonta. He had a bunch.
Yeah, he had four studs, right?
Was Waddle still around? Yeah, Waddle was still around.
Yeah, and Najee
for the end of that year.
But. And Najee. It was like a really good team. I get it. Like, I'm not trying to say that like Arch is better than Mac Jones. Arch has 4,500 yards in the bag. But like the year before for Mac Jones, that 2020 season in 2019, Sarkisian was the OC for both years, 2019 and 2020. The 2019 year, Mac had 141 pass attempts. He had like something like 15 touchdowns, 4 picks, 1,000 yards. Very like similar stuff to what Arch did last year. But nobody's bringing up the fact that like that was Mac Jones's first full year like at the helm. And I think we can all agree that as a quarterback, Arch is more equipped than Mac was, especially off the hoof and as far as his downfield arm talent. So it's like, is it okay to just like, hey, maybe he can throw for over 4,000 yards. Maybe he can be the guy. Maybe we can all just like jump in with both feet. And like, I know we've come to this thing where the loyal listeners of Football with Friends would tell you, they would know that I was once of the boat that like Arch is gone after 2025. You've convinced me. The Manning family has convinced me. Everybody has, got there, especially Anwar. I feel like since day one, 2023 was saying, no, he's staying and starting for 2 seasons.
Well, because they're the Mannings and they care about the old Bill Parcells rule. Or I'm sorry, the old Bill. It's that it might
Bill
be a
Walsh.
Parcells rule, but it's a Bill Walsh rule
Yeah.
about the 25 college starts.
Yeah.
Like they still buy into that. They have a method. They've lived by that method. They've gone on to have Hall of Fame careers. They've gone on to be Super Bowl MVPs. I mean, it's worked out pretty well for the Mannings. You know, I think that in a lot of ways you could say that the proof is in the pudding. With that being said, like if we do just want to just do the projection where we just jump in with both feet, just right into the deep end of the old pool, and say that it's gonna be Mac Jones 2019 or 2020?
2020.
It's gonna be a Mac Jones 2020, and he goes ham, and they go undefeated, and they go and win a national championship, and he wins the Heisman. I guess him or one of his receivers wins the Heisman if we're drawing the corollary to Mac Jones. I mean, that could it ever change?
I mean, imagine what that conversation would be like. And different, like I know everyone's projecting. It's like, well, if he hits this threshold, if they win the national championship, or if he wins the Heisman, it's like, well, if that happens, if the expectation is what comes to fruition, and you're sitting there on January 26th, or whenever the declaration day is for juniors, like the week after the championship.
And that's only for juniors that play on that team.
Right? Yeah. And Arch and Sark are sitting there, and it's like, well, we just went undefeated or one loss, and we blitzed everybody, and you got a Heisman Trophy. You threw for 48 touchdowns and 4,300 yards. Sark's going to say, I'd love to have you come back, and you could probably make another $8-10 million. Well,
that's something too.
Definitely the first overall pick in the draft, and I think you're ready. There's a chance. I think there's a chance. Like if the prophecy is fulfilled, and that happens by January, that's going to be a hard conversation to have. And I understand that there's going to be a starts threshold that's not going to be met. He's going to be right around 18 or 19 at that point, which is light. But a lot of those other quarterbacks that went to the league and failed, Trubisky, and others I can continue on with.
Oh,
they did not have the last.
This doesn't end with Trubisky. Just ask Anthony Richardson about it, or like all the. Oh
gosh, but they did not have the Manning last name. They did not have 2 seasons with Steve Sarkisian, 2 seasons behind Quinn Ewers.
No, 3 seasons. I mean, more than 2 seasons with
3.
Yeah,
3 seasons.
Of course.
Okay, stack it in. Like situations are situational, as Pat McAfee would say. Like this isn't a normal, like, oh, he's a freshman or a sophomore. He comes in and like, this is his redshirt sophomore year. All of a sudden he's just dropped in. Like this guy's been brought along and hasn't really been forced into the fire. He played, like that Georgia right before halftime. Yeah, sure. He's forced into the fire, but that was really a low expectation at that point. If the prophecy is fulfilled, could Arch Manning leave on January 26, 2026? I think so.
All right. Well, listen, the show's brought to you by the Man Eye Institute. Make sure and give them a call, 844-WOW-2020, 844-WOW-2020. The Man Eye Institute. See life better. They are our presenting sponsor. And, of course, you have fantasy football drafts coming up this weekend. Cody and I have your ultimate tool that you'll need, the ultimate draft cheat sheet at rosterwatch.com. Make sure and check it out. All you have to do is download the sheet of paper or just use the online tool. Mark off the picks as they come off the board. Choose the sheet for your league type, whether it's PPR, half PPR, standard, super flex, whatever it is. Don't panic anymore. Don't worry about not knowing exactly who all these players are, the new situations. We update the sheet every single day to make sure you draft a well-balanced, expert quality roster that you will dominate with. It is guaranteed. The ultimate draft cheat sheet at rosterwatch.com. It's like having me and Cody there with you at your fantasy football drafts. And just another quick announcement. We are going to be live at Texas Beef Traders. What day is that, Cody?
September.
It's the Thursday before the second game.
4th.
Okay, so the Thursday before the second game, we're going to be live at Texas Beef Traders, and we want you guys to come out and join us. Of course, you always get 10% off at Texas Beef Traders, but that night you won't just get 10% off. You'll get a bunch of free stuff that Darren will cook up, and we'll have free beers and everything like that. So come join us, come hang out. If you have questions, we'll answer them. It'll be a live show. We'll take questions from the chat and just hang. Old school show in that way. And we got to thank another sponsor. Cody's wearing an awesome looking poncho shirt. Which one is that?
This is the ever beautiful cotton one that we just got.
Is that the Lano?
I don't want to. I didn't say what it was. I just said cotton because it's got cotton on it. I can't remember what the name of it is.
I've gotten the most compliments I've ever gotten in my life wearing my new poncho shirt, the new South Zone camo to church on Sunday. Cody, it's a big deal. It's a big deal that they're all making about the Arch Manning thing. But just let me ask you this, just from the perspective of a Texas fan, would a Texas fan take would the Texas fan take the deal of the prophecy being fulfilled, and then Arch Manning, and like this is what you get. You either get 2 seasons of Arch Manning, and who knows what happens, or you know what happens in the one season. The prophecy is fulfilled. The undefeated season. The Heisman at least finalist, the national championship, and then poof, like that, he's gone. Do you think that Texas fans are going to be? Do you think that the average Texas fan would take that deal?
Of course, every time.
100 times out of 100.